The story is confusing, kind of unrealistic, just overall weird. Rosario Dawson and her family sued over alleged transphobic assault. The actor and girlfriend of presidential candidate Cory Booker allegedly attacked a transgender employee in Los Angeles, the lawsuit claims. I don't believe it. Like they're actually blaming Rosario Dawson. First of all, Rosario Dawson, as far as I know, is nothing but a sweetheart. And I know some people who know her as well, who are political, and I think she is a good, principled individual, although I have to admit, I don't really know a whole lot about her. She's dating Cory Booker, so take it as far as you want. I will say this too. I actually kind of like Cory Booker. I think he tries too hard to be cool dad, though. I don't agree with him on a lot of policy issues. But I look at Beto O'Rourke, and man, that guy is awful. I look at Cory Booker, and I'm like, you don't gotta try so hard, Cory. But you're not that bad of a dude, okay? I get it. He's trying. Let's read. A transgender man alleges that actor Rosario Dawson and her family subjected him to transphobic harassment and violent abuse, according to a suit filed in LA court. Dawson, 40, is the girlfriend of Democratic presidential candidate Cory Booker of New Jersey. The suit, filed Friday, alleges that Dawson and 3 members of her family violated Diedrich Finley's civil rights by discriminating against him for his transgender status. The suit seeks damages for that, as well as battery, assault, emotional distress, and several other allegations. Neither the family's lawyer, Alan Kosoff, nor representatives for Rosario Dawson immediately responded to NBC News' request for comment. So you may be asking, Tim, why do we care about this? Well, because it's Cory Booker's girlfriend. I mean, in the end. First, Rosario Dawson, famous actress, she's in the Netflix stuff, Marvel, and Cory Booker running for president. This is probably going to come up in the future. They're going to ask Cory Booker, your girlfriend is being accused of this, that, and this. How do you respond? And he's going to have to say something. What's he going to say? Is he going to say the allegations are untrue and this transgender individual is lying? Is he going to say we must respect all rights? It's going to be a difficult course to plot. He's probably going to have to say something like, while I, do not believe the charges are accurate, I respect protecting individuals, and it's going to be a really weird place to be. Because I assure you, depending on his level of involvement, what he says may actually impact the lawsuit. If he comes out and says, I believe the victim, well, that's gonna matter when it comes to the lawsuit. This is actually a really tricky situation. Cory Booker is to protect his family, will have to claim it's not true, I stand by Rosario. That's going to negatively impact him in the political sphere where they believe the victims. And they're going to say, Cory, how dare you deny the experience of this individual? If Cory comes out in any way defending this individual, they will use it in court against his girlfriend's family. Welcome to the political world and being a public figure. I know Cory Booker is not subject to this, but they are going to use it. I assure you, other Democrats will highlight this too. And they're going to be like, Cory, you should really, really make sure you address this. It is not appropriate, blah, blah, blah. And he's going to have to sacrifice his friends and family over this one. They say, according to the suit, Finley, 55, moved from Beacon, New York to LA in December 2017 to work as a handyman for the Dawson family and renovate and remodel Rosario's personal residence, which promised him consistent work. He later moved into a North Hollywood home rented by the family and soon after came out to them as transgender, telling the family that he would now be known as Diedrich and use he/him pronouns. Immediately after Finley came out as transgender, quote, the family misgendered him multiple times each day with deliberate indifference as to the appropriate way to address Mr. Finley. The suit claims Rosario Dawson acted with deliberate indifference and did nothing to correct the situation. Whoa, this is huge. Let's think about this for a second. What you're saying is, this individual identified as female was hired and then one day said, I now want to be referred to male. And the family was like, oh, yeah. And then just went about their normal business using the pronouns as they always have for most of their life. And now they're in trouble for probably California human rights law because you have to. To what degree can they say it's just not something we understand or are used to? Too bad. You employed an individual and you violated human rights law because California has these laws. Therein lies a huge, huge exploit. They say, instead, in response to Mr. Finley's complaints, Rosario would respond to Mr. Finley, you're a grown woman, despite the fact that Finley had come out as transgender to the family. Now, the challenge here is, for one, I don't see Rosario as an overtly conservative individual. I mean, she's dating Cory Booker. But that's a serious charge. And that means, once again, going back to the Booker 2020 campaign, Cory's going to have to deal with this. He's going to have to denounce the comments because no one's going to believe Rosario over the victim. But it's entirely possible that the trans individual did nothing. Like imagine if someone who was just overly biologically female came up to you and said, "Call," like the "it's ma'am" incident, right? Did you see the moment that incident? I think it was at GameStop where the trans woman who was in their presentation overly masculine kept saying, "It is ma'am, it is ma'am." It's a viral meme. The store clerk couldn't help but say "sir" over and over again, especially as their adrenaline was running. They were experiencing a fight or flight as this overbearing 6-foot-tall figure was saying, "It's ma'am, say it." And the person goes, "Sir, I mean, I'm sorry." They don't know how to respond. So in that instance, I don't know what happened to that store clerk. I think they may have gotten fired. I don't know. This is a different accusation. But I find it very strange that Rosario be the kind of person to say, "You're a grown woman," and refuse to do it. The suit alleges that in February of last year, just months after coming out, Finley was ordered to move out but refused to because there was no legal grounds for his eviction. But wait. They don't, what legal grounds? They can serve you with a notice unless they had a lease, I suppose. On April 28, 2018, Finley alleges that the mother worked together alleges the family worked together to assault him. Isabel Dawson, Rosario's mother, allegedly dragged Finley by his arm out of a window and then attacked him. Now this is getting weird. Once Mr. Finley was lying helpless on the ground outside, Isabel, who is substantially larger than Mr. Finley, got on top of Mr. Finley's body and began punching him. While beating Mr. Finley, Isabel screamed, "You're not so much of a man now," which was a clear and denigrating reference to Mr. Finley's gender identity. You know what, man? In the future, everything will be a hate crime. Everything. The suit alleges Rosario Dawson assisted in the assault by sitting on top of him and actively restraining him while he was on the ground to ensure that her mother could continue battering him. Isabel Dawson also allegedly threatened to kill Finley's cat if he did not move out and stomped on his hand during the attack and stole his cell phone, which Finley alleges contained video of the previous threats made against him. A day after the alleged attack, Finley was granted a temporary restraining order against Isabel Dawson, according to the suit. Tasha Alyssa Hill, an attorney representing Finley, told NBC News that her client had no choice but to sue the Dawson family. As his attorney, "We have reached out numerous times to the Dawson family attorney seeking to resolve this before having to file suit," Hill stated. She said after receiving no response, the suit was filed last week before the statute of limitations expired. Hill affirmed the lawsuit's allegation that Dawson's family treatment of Finley was due to his gender identity. Mr. Finley had a good relationship with the family, did work with them in New York, and had a good enough relationship that they invited him to California and offered him a living situation and a full-time working situation for the family. When they did that, they knew him as a lesbian woman. When he came out to California and decided to come out to them as a transgender man, that's when things started going south. Hill said her client just wants just and fair. This is weirdly phrased. He just wants to get some sort of compensation so he can get back on track with his life, so he can put this incident behind him, Hill said. Okay, I'll give you my opinion, and I'll get attacked for it. Fine, whatever. I think it's BS. I do know it'll end up in the political sphere. I would be surprised if it wouldn't be. Maybe it won't be. But here's the thing. I do not, first of all, what I know about Rosario Dawson is this just doesn't sound like her and her family. But again, I only know her. I don't really know her. I think I met her like one time in passing, maybe not. I don't want to act like I know who celebrities are. That's not what I'm trying to say. I know people who know her, and I've never heard anything like this in the very few times it's been talked about. But think about this. This individual who moved in was an open lesbian woman, and the Dawson family had no problem. And she's trying to claim now that by coming out as transgender, they got angry. That seems kind of strange to me, right? The people who would be openly inviting a lesbian into their home, I don't see them as caring if the person ended up trans after the fact. It seems likely that after they moved in, then all of a sudden the family started being like, "We can't live with this person." You see how that works? So, I mean, take it for what you will. In the end, it doesn't matter. We know how the court of public opinion works. And Cory Booker is the one who was exposed by this, not Rosario Dawson. She's an actress. She'll say, "I don't know, it's an ongoing legal matter." How will Cory Booker respond? Because I'll tell you this, Cory Booker can't deny. He cannot. If he can't refuse. Let's say a reporter goes to him and says, "Can you comment on the recent allegations of your girlfriend being transphobic?" If Cory says, "I can't comment," then the trans community they're going to come out, and the far left are going to be like, "How dare you not address these victims? You're protecting your family over civil rights. How can we trust you in office?" If he denies the attack even happened, they're going to say, "How dare you not believe the victim?" And if he says, you know what, you're right, the attack was wrong, that will be used against him by the suit in the court. So you know what? You enter politics, you're between a rock and a hard place. And when you're a high-profile person, you could be the victim to these accusations. Somebody could make an accusation against an average person, and what does it matter? You go to court, you get it resolved. But a celebrity immediately faces backlash in the court of public opinion. And that's bad news across the board you can't get away from. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Let me know what you think. Comment below. Stick around. Next segment coming up tomorrow at 10 a.m. Podcast 6:30 p.m. every day on all podcast platforms. Check it out. Tim Pool Daily Show. I will see you all tomorrow.